Hello and welcome to this video on how to graph a point. Many times in mathematics, we want to have different representations for certain things. And today I want to talk about graphical representation. For example, if we knew that x equaled 3 and y equals 5, we could actually graph this. And so I want to talk to you about this. The first thing you need to know is that when x equals 3 and y equals 5, we often have a shortcut way to represent that, and we write it as a point. And a point is always going to be represented with two parentheses. We put the x value first, and then a comma, and then a y value, and close parentheses. This is known as a point. They have two ordinates. This is an ordinate. Both of these are. And when you have two of them, then you have a coordinate. So if we knew 3 and 5 were our values, we could write the point 3, 5. This is how you're going to see points written in mathematics. 3, 5, that's a coordinate. Now, all points can be graphed, and that's what we want to talk about. So let's take a look at a graph. When you are given a point, for example, 3, 5, and you're asked to graph this, there's a couple of procedures to follow. First of all, you should start at the origin. The origin is where the two graphs meet. That spot right there is known as 0, 0, or the origin. You should also know that the horizontal axis is called the x-axis, and the vertical axis is called the y-axis, the axis. So if you need to graph the point 3, 5, the first thing you should do is put your finger right on 0, 0. That's 0, 0. And then step number 2 tells us to move left or right x number of spots for the x value. Now remember, the first value is the x value. And so because it's 3, I'm going to move 3 spots to the right. If it's a positive value, you move to the right. If it were a negative 3, we would have moved to the left. Now from there, we're going to move up or down the number on the y. It says move up or down the y value. Now 5 is positive, so from this spot, we're actually going to move up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If it were negative, we would have moved down. Step number 4 is draw a point right at that location. So I'm going to make a big point right there, and I'm going to label it as 3, 5. That's how we draw points. Now it's your turn. So here are 5 points I would like you to graph. Go ahead and create a little graph on your paper, and then graph these 5 points. Pause the video now, and then unpause when you're ready to check. Okay, how'd you do? Let's take a look. I'm going to graph 5, 1. So I'm going to start here at 0, 0, and I'm going to go to the right 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's my x value. And then I'm going to go up 1. I went up because it's positive. And that's where I make a point. That's 5, 1. Okay. Now, negative 2, negative 6. Ooh, now negatives. So again, we start at 0, 0 at the origin. Now, it's a negative 2. Now, remember, your first value tells you left and right. So because this is negative, I'm going left 2. Now I got to use the y value. That tells me how far up and down I go. Now, that's a negative 6, so I'm actually going to go down 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right there. That's negative 2, negative 6. Now negative 3, 5. Again, I'm starting here at 0, 0. Now, the first value tells me how far left and right I go. So because it's negative, I'm going left 3 and then up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That right there is negative 3, 5. Now, sometimes people get their x's and y's mixed up. Remember, the first value is the x value. That's how far left and right you go. The second value is the y value. That's how far up and down you go. Let's do this blue one. I'm going to start here at 0, 0. The first value is 4, so that tells me to go to the right 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it's negative 2. That's the y value, so I got to go down 2. So this right here would be 4, negative 2. That's the spot that would be my answer. Okay, what about 0, negative 3? Now 0, that's how far left and right I go. So if I go 0 left or right, I'm not going anywhere. My next value is negative 3. That tells me to go down negative 3. 1, 2, 3. So that's my spot right there. That's 0, -3. If you feel like you've mastered those, that's great. That's how we graph a point. And thanks for watching.